one of the most important aspects of having a coach is sometimes you just need somebody who can see the potential that you have and maybe don't recognize. I'm here with Camilla today, and that is her superpower, helping you see the potential that maybe you don't recognize you have. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Well, I mean, that's a really big question. And thank you for having me on today. I'm Camilla Peterson. I'm actually a sensual relationship coach. And my journey, I'm in my seventh year in business. And I mean, it's been a long journey of evolution. Where I started is very different from now.
Sure.
And yeah, just a little background of me. I have 4 kids. They're 21 down to 16, 2 boys and 2 girls. And I was married for 20 years, got divorced, had built several businesses. And through my divorce, I hit my lowest, like when you think you're low and you go even further, you never know when the low is going to stop. And I pulled myself up through the techniques that I used with my clients and career, reinvented my entire self and my entire business and my direction and my niche. And it was so dark that I pretty much transcended all of it within 2 years. Some people go through it for a decade. And
guilty.
Yep. Or more. And now I have revolutionized myself and everything and the way I actually serve my clients at such a high touch point. It's just changing lives in a whole different way I never thought was possible.
That is awesome to hear. And you mentioned you were already building businesses maybe before the divorce, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so let me ask a little bit about that. What kind of led you down the path of entrepreneurship, or what maybe inspired you that was something that you were interested in and wanted to pursue?
Honestly, I never saw it for my path growing up. Growing up, we were very poor. My father was extremely abusive. All I wanted was to be a stay-at-home mom. That's it. And when I married, I didn't even know, but after a couple of years of being married, my husband at the time actually wanted to build businesses. He was tired of being controlled and having a boss. And so as he built businesses for the 20 years we were married, I helped support him as much as I could while raising the kids. And it was later on when my kids were actually going to school when I was like, well, what am I going to do?
Yeah. And then now you have that experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
okay. That's curious. Similar, story, very impoverished family growing up. I couldn't have even fathomed entrepreneurship in my life. And, it was something that as I became more exposed to the world and I joined the Army, I got to travel, I get to see different layers and stages of wealth as I traveled the world. I had the idea or the notion that I could build a business. Didn't know how I was going to go about it. But there was something about that growing up in poverty and not having the best situation that definitely left me with the hunger to find a way out of that, or to find that success. And I wonder if it was kind of a similar path for you.
I think that moment for me, since it was later after, raising kids for 15 years and then only building my business starting my career 5 years before divorce, it was after the divorce when I was so deep and dark that I began to get hungry and realizing this is not I can't stay in this place.
Yeah.
And because everything was actually coming up from my childhood, the divorce of my parents and the darkness that was. I mean, my mom literally had 15 minutes to pack a suitcase and take her 4 kids away. And we went from shelter to shelter.
Wow.
So the divorce then was all surfacing when I divorced. I mean, my husband was trying to take everything from me. And it was like all up in my face. And I was like, holy hell, like I never abused my kids. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Excuse my language if that's not.
No, you're okay.
And so when I was going through this and really taking time for myself in my own healing and growth, I began to get this hunger of, you know, if I could be this low, how many other people are in the same situation? And I started meeting people that were going through similar things. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to help people that are divorced, like heal through their love relationship, but I'm not there yet. Like I'm still hurting myself.
Yeah.
But then they were like begging me to help them. And I'm like, this is bizarre, but okay, I'm going to help you. So it became like this hunger for healing, helping them in their healing process while I was healing, because I was still a step ahead of them. And yeah, so the hunger is like so deep inside that I'm like, fuck yeah. Like
I really like this. So I'm maybe identifying, and I don't know if it's appropriate to put it in as direct term, the underlying why for what you do, right? For me, like I coach entrepreneurs. I try to help them scale their teams, and that scales their systems and their outcomes. And subsequently, you know, they grow their business, they make more money.
Yeah.
But my underlying why is that I'm on a mission to attack poverty. Yeah. I am removing it from the equation for myself, for my family, for my friends, for my community. And that is what I'm after. I want to remove poverty from the equation.
I love that.
And it's because I was in that, you know, hole growing up. That was the darkness that I had.
Yeah.
So I hear, you know, as you're in your darkness, you're recognizing that there is a need to help people heal and to overcome, like you said, repair those love relationships.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually, it's horrible, but it's beautiful. The way that from, you know, perhaps your darkest struggles, you find this purpose and this calling, and it's almost like it's designed to build you to that point where you can go out and help others.
Yeah. And it in such a deeper, more compassionate and empathetic way, not out of sympathy for a person or a pity party.
Yeah.
Like I had my pity party. I want to be like shouting the pity out to the world. But when you get over that and find the root of where that's even coming from, and you discover like the trueness of who you are, like the strength that you have, like it's so much deeper and meaningful that to help a person find that within them is like everything I feel like I was born for. That all those struggles I went through were for this very moment in my career and in my life that I couldn't even fathom. And it gives purpose for all the darkness. And the darkness feels like a warmth I never knew was possible. And the love relationship, it's not about the external relationship we have in front of us. It's about a love relationship with ourselves.
That is beautiful.
Then once we heal that and we come into ourselves in our trueness, then it's actually externally mirrored outside ourselves. And that is the moment where you see the greatest side of yourself.
So can I ask, and I don't want to jump ahead too quick, but I'm just kind of curious now because you mentioned sensual coach and love relationship healing and the love relationship with yourself. I am brand new to this world. So I'm trying to wrap my head around what this actually is and what it looks like. Do you mind maybe talking about that just for a moment so that the audience understands, you know, what service you're providing and how you're actually helping these people?
Yeah. I'll get as much into detail as I can. So sensual. Okay. So my biggest thing is transcendence, which is breaking out of every limitation you've put on yourself. And sensuality is actually the sensual nature in which it's not really so much about sex. It's more about the sensual being within yourself that's about pleasure and having every area of your life so fulfilling and loving in the most natural, authentic way you were truly born to feel, to see yourself, to like all of it. So we know that we have 5 senses, but there's also a 6th sense, which is self-talk. And so self-talk can also be external people outside of ourselves. So when we actually change and reprogram all those self-talk and images and feelings within ourselves to a more sensual side of ourselves, where the pleasure, like so many people ask, how much more pain can I endure? But if you were to ask, how much pleasure could I endure? And really picture that, then that's life-changing. And
I'm a little bit blown away right now. I'm having the thought, like you started, it's so much more than sex.
Yeah.
It's, and I think about it because I'm a weirdo like this. You use the term pleasure. And obviously that's a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
It could be a car for you. Right?
Exactly. That's the thought that I'm getting around is, I have pleasure, gratification when I am learning and mastering a new skill.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so I'm thinking about this. It's more than necessarily just the physical aspect. It's also there's a mental, there's an emotional, there's a spiritual aspect to the pleasure.
Yes. Well, and even like when you're doing a podcast, how do you want to feel during that podcast? How deep do you want to go, right? Like when I'm on a podcast, my whole body wants to light up like it's lighting up now. Like I'm talking about the things that actually put meaning in my life, and not only mine, but it's going to give the most value and meaning to the audience.
Yeah.
Because I deeply care.
Well, and like you said, your body lights up, the passion is evident.
Yes.
There's a conviction there that's it's not just you saying something, it's you believing it and feeling the fulfillment that is associated with it, right?
Exactly. Which is true embodiment. You're not just faking it. Like you've taken the fucking mask off and said, look at me, I'm a mess. And I'm okay with that. I don't have my life perfect. I still have a lot to work on with my kids. Like the divorce, it was during teenage years.
Yeah.
But like, I want to have pleasure with my kids and I want to have memories where they'll remember forever, right? Like they have a different persona of who I am versus who I know I am. So to bridge a gap, right? Like that's my most tender spot right now is with my kids, and it's a mess, and I'm not proud of it. Both of us, it's both parents' responsibility to get through a divorce that's in best case scenario for your kids.
Yeah.
And both of us are failing. So, but I know it's really amazing because every time I've had darkness and messy with one area, once I come out of it, all of a sudden I have a whole new perspective to help my clients and the world with, to navigate through that. There's always a purpose for all of it. Now, other areas of my life that are absolute perfection for me, like those are the things that I do have light and pleasure around that I've purposely and intentionally created.
Definitely.
And so when you build your life and your business, because we're talking about early entrepreneurs, right? And I'm 7 years, they may be in year 1 or 2 or 3. That's still really baby. I think the most important thing I would say is surround yourself with people that uplift you. There's enough tearing down, and even in our own thoughts, surround yourself with people that support you and uplift you. And support meaning you can fucking do anything, and it could be the most bizarre, ridiculous thing, but someone still says, you go get it.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you, and I'm watching, and I think it's freaking amazing because look at the light bulbs. That was so unrealistic back then to have electricity.
On demand.
On demand.
I'm interested, or I like the connection here that we're making. surround yourself with the people that are going to support you.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in the concept that you're a reflection or the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That's kind of a common cliche, but I think there's a lot of truth in it. And the reality is if you're surrounding yourself with people that are in a good mindset, a healthy frame of reference, that are supportive, that are forward thinking, that are outgoing, you're going to rise to those things because they bring you up with them.
Yeah.
Their positive mental energy rubs off on you, right? It charges you positively, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I actually was having a conversation yesterday with one of my employees about that. And he's starting his own business and he's trying to figure out how to grow this. And he was explaining to me how all of his peers, you know, high school, young adulthood, they all just keep telling him, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. You're never going to succeed. That's a waste of time. Why are you wasting your time with that?
Yeah.
And he beats himself up about it. And I'm like, dude, to paraphrase the great philosopher, the great contemporary philosopher, Meek Mill, I believe it was, it ain't nothing to cut a bitch off.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people that are going to support you, that are going to help you, that are going to benefit your mental state, that are going to help you progress and move forward and think forward. That's the biggest aspect. If you're not thinking forward, you're staying back. Okay, sorry. There's a lot of things that you're saying that I want to unpack here now, and I'm a little bit overwhelmed by it. So most of our audience, early stage entrepreneurs, think, you know, less than $250,000 a year in revenue. Most are in their first, like you said, 1 through 3 years.
Yeah.
Is really where the listeners are right now. And you mentioned your advice there, but would you say that again for the audience?
Yeah. I mean, when I started my current business, I had done several before. And when I started my current business, it's actually the first one I started by myself. The other ones were my husband and I, like in the background mostly, and sometimes in it. But this was my first one by myself, like building it from scratch. And I had never coached or known the strategies. And I would say that I wish I would have surrounded myself and with more people that supported me and kept my mouth shut around the people that didn't get it. For example, I love my mom. We are dear. We're so close. We have such a dear, sweet relationship, but she just doesn't get it. She doesn't.
Yeah.
And when I was going through my darkest moments after divorce, trying to refigure out my career, like rebuild it again, because I've always known this is what I have to do. And it hasn't been the easiest road, but she would encourage me to get a job. And I have 2 rules since beginning my career when my kids were all getting in school. I will never get a 9-to-5 job, and I will never go back to college.
Yes.
No way in hell. And so I would sit and I would sob while we sat there and she helped me put a resume together. Because sometimes I was just like, I just need to give up and just, okay, maybe there's something I need to learn. I have gotten a job once years ago, like 2 years after I started, because I was like, I kind of need to just learn sales better. So I actually went and worked at Audi car sales and sold cars to learn how to sell better. And plus, Robert Kiyosaki, I think he has one of the greatest advice. He says, don't pay to learn, get paid to learn.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I'm going to go get paid to learn sales.
Okay, unpacking. Because if I don't stop and unpack, there's just going to be more and more and more stuffed in. First part, surround yourself with people that are going to help you, that are going to support you.
Yes.
Right? This isn't just the mindset thing that we were talking about. I'm a big believer in it's the team that you build, right?
Yes, that too.
You were at my masterminds last week, 2 weeks ago, last week. Oh, gosh, days all blend together.
Yeah.
But we had Mandy Keene out there. Mandy Keene, awesome personality coach. She taught on the concept of the Rainmaker Triad. And if you're not familiar with the Rainmaker Triad, essentially what that is that all successful organizations have at least 3 people in them. When we say successful, I mean majorly successful, right? Because a good marketer can maybe build a company to $1 million a year, but you need to have the team to scale beyond. So the rainmaker, that's the person that brings in the sales. The engineer is who is perfecting the product or the service or the systems behind the scenes. And then the creator is the person that is developing and making it beautiful. And how do they actually, position this in such a way that it is desirable, right?
Right.
So, I think of myself, I'm a rainmaker personality type. I have to surround myself with an engineer and a creator. Otherwise, I can't continue to grow and scale, right? I get capped out at what I can do personally. Just in my own life, an example, you have Bart out here, the studio manager. He's a creator for me. And then my wife, Emmeline, she's the engineer. And so I have my team.
Yeah.
Being surrounded by that team, we get to play to each other's strengths. My wife wants to make everything perfect. Bart wants to, be the one that's doing the creative space. And I just care about talking to people and being a charismatic leader and selling. And I love those things. So we each play to our strengths in that way. That was first thing to unpack.
Yes.
Second part. Oh my gosh. The parents.
The parents.
I have fought this struggle for years. So listeners, if you are in the throes of entrepreneurship, I'm going to tell you the secret. You can love your parents. Don't listen to them. Just don't, because they can't understand and they can't fathom.
Unless they've done it.
The hard part is there's probably 20 plus year difference.
It's true.
It's a very different world and landscape. My father tried entrepreneurship and failed. Right, it's part of our maybe path into poverty.
Yeah.
When I was building my companies, and I even at the time where the company was doing a couple $1 million a year in revenue, and I was maybe making $250,000 a year, I was explaining the process to my dad of how it worked, how we were able to grow and scale a little bit, because he thinks that I'm just out here encompassing myself in debt and being frivolous with everything I do, and that I'm being wasteful and not frugal, all that stuff.
Oh gosh, that sounds like my mother too.
I explained it to him just as, general as I could. And he just kept telling me, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. I'm like, that's exactly how it is working. Right now, it is working that way. But it's that, like you said, their mindset isn't in a position where they can believe it, right? If they can't perceive it as realistic, then they can't see the vision, get on board, support you.
Yeah.
And a similar thing with my wife's parents, actually. We had our first kid in 2019. They came out to visit. And so I come home from work and they're in our living room on the couch, holding the baby or whatever. And I had brought home Samsung watches for me and my wife. And Grandpa Toth just said, "Are you sure you can afford that? Is this really what you should be buying right now?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's fine." Yeah. So my wife takes the baby out to go change a diaper. And while we're sitting in the living room together, he turns to me and hits me with "How are you going to provide for my daughter and your child?" And I said, "Well, I've got this business, we're growing. We're doing a few $1 million a year." No. Parker, you don't have to lie to me. How are you? No one can make a living in an online business. It just doesn't work that way. So what job are you going to get? And I said, "No, I don't need a job. I own this company. The company's growing." They just couldn't believe it, couldn't wrap their heads around it, so they can't support it. But then that was ongoing for 7 years. And it was actually just this past summer, 4th of July, they're at our house. And he sits down next to me on the couch. And we've bought, 5 or 6 houses since then. And he sits down on the couch next to me and he's like, "Okay, what do you actually do for work?"
That's the moment.
And I'm like, it's finally coming around on him.
Yeah.
Okay. So that.
Well, I feel like parents have a different type of attachment for one, right? Like I just had a really tense conversation even with my mother last night around money, and the charge around money for her was really intense. And then when you put a child in the mix around money and another, it's not even a child, it's an adult.
Yeah.
One of my siblings, then it's compacted because I've let go of all of my money charges at the level that I'm at. And gosh, like even all of her beliefs that I let go of come out in her mouth, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't believe in that anymore, that she just can't comprehend where I am at. So there's no way to bridge the gap of our beliefs. Neither do we need to convince each other of them. And she's never done a business. It's just a whole other ball game that I play compared to her.
Definitely.
She could never understand it. It's like telling a child how to be a mother when they've never been a mother. Mm-hmm. You just can't. There's no comprehension.
Oh, and there's so much more than you could even if you started to try, right? There's so much more that goes into it that they just are not going to understand.
And then when they become a mother, if they do, hopefully they do, if that's what they want, it's a different experience for them than their own mother had, right? So I don't know. Parents, it's just really important, I feel, of who you're talking to and what you're talking to them about. So I had this moment a couple weeks ago where I finally helped my mom see that I was okay. Mm-hmm. I've been divorced for 2.5 years. So I finally was able for her to see. And I just finally got her to get on the same page as me. And she's just like, whoa, Camilla. She finally gets it in the way she can get it. Mm-hmm. And now our conversations are entirely different. But it's because I also started realizing I don't need to tell her the hard parts of building my business.
Yeah.
All the rejection I get and all the, I'm not going to go to her anymore about my hardships. Because entrepreneurship, no matter how much money you're making, how little, it ebbs and flows, and there's things, obstacles and things. It's all about solving problems.
Yes.
Every single day, moment by moment, some days. And so it's not all roses all the time, but there is a deeper reason why we do it.
Absolutely.
That's much more fulfilling than a 9-to-5.
I really love what you said because about the solving problems specifically. That's the crack for me, right? Like,
yes,
I'm addicted to solving the problems.
Yes.
Every day is a new puzzle. Uh-huh. Every puzzle needs a little bit of a different solution.
Yep.
My brain is constantly engaged with that. And it's like it hooks my ADHD and it reels me in. And I just want to keep doing it forever because I love the process, the thought, the application, and then the actual implementation of the solutions.
Yes. And my favorite thing is the evolution of it too. You started here and you evolve and it like morphs over time. And what you thought at the beginning would be is not later on.
I really like that you said the evolution, right? Because I view entrepreneurship as the greatest journey in personal development.
Me too.
I believe very much in the concept of self-actualization. And for the people that aren't familiar, self-actualization is the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where essentially you are able to focus on becoming the best possible version of yourself.
Yes.
So I'm pursuing that. But it's a never-ending journey that constantly requires me to be better. Mm-hmm. Better husband, better father, better business owner, better marketer, better friend. Yeah. So I'm like, there's never a stop. There's always a new problem to solve. Yeah. And in solving more problems, I provide more value, I make more money, and I win more.
Yeah. And not only you win, but the people you're helping win even more.
Absolutely.
Because the more you evolve yourself, and it's not so much about change as much as it is transformation in creating more win-wins and gianter ones that run deeper and more expansive for people, but we can only go as deep as we've gone ourselves with other people.
Yeah.
So the deeper we can go and find all the nooks and crannies, nooks, that we haven't gone there yet in the weeds of ourselves, that we've avoided for all that time because we're too scared, right? Or we put a limitation or a wall or a barrier there so that we don't have to play that big. Because let's just admit we're all gods and goddesses, okay? we're sons and daughters of God is what I was told while I was in the womb. Mm-hmm. But why don't we act like it? Why aren't we actually acting like we are that?
You're going to get me started on my fear kick. It's fear. It's always been fear.
Or fear of getting hurt or rejection.
Fear of rejection, I think, is the biggest one. I mean, you mentioned, you don't want to talk to your mom anymore about the rejection stuff. She doesn't need to hear that. If you can get over the rejection, you will win. Mm-hmm. Like I'm profoundly convinced of that. Like, me too. When you can get in front of, not tooting my own horn or anything like that, but when you can speak on stage, mm-hmm. you can throw an offer out there, you can get absolutely slammed by 3/5 of the room,
or get 0 of anything, and you spend hours putting a damn presentation together to get nothing.
I don't believe that you get nothing, right? You get
I'm
some
talking
great
about
content, credibility, trust. You
get everything, so much feedback from it.
Correct. Well, if you get nothing, you get a lot of good feedback.
Exactly.
So, but it's like if you can do that and fail mm-hmm. and learn from it and come back and do it again, you're unstoppable. You are, like you said, gods and goddesses. You are unstoppable, and you will win.
Yeah. Yep.
So, like for me, one of the biggest things that I end up coaching people over, and I'm sure it's actually going to be really similar with you, is people have these different fears, and a lot of it is the fear of rejection. And so they don't take action because they're afraid of getting the rejection that comes if they take the action. And the reality is, you might have to go through 100 no's to get your yes, but eventually you get a yes.
Yeah. If you never start somewhere, right? Like, I picture it like this, like, okay, I am the captain of my ship, mm-hmm. and then there's a crew, and my mind has the map of where I want to go. So there's this island clear over there with all this treasure. And I have a reason why I want that specific treasure. And there's going to be storms that come my way. There's going to be obstacles. There's going to be different maybe monsters that appear in the waters as I'm going, right? Mm-hmm. And my job too is to also study the ocean and what's going to happen on my course there. So on my way, I know there's going to be a storm, and how am I going to navigate it? Should I go around it or should I go through it? And a lot of people will actually go through the storm and keep going in the storm like this. And choose to keep the clouds above them and that's all the inner turmoil and storms going on inside of them. Like, we look so much outside of ourselves for validation and for, the storm, it's the storm's fault.
Yeah.
When actually, is it?
I really like this thought. So victim mentality is easier.
It can be.
I don't want to encourage that, but it's really easy to blame someone else or blame something else than it is to take responsibility for you, your life, your outcomes. We also subconsciously have this issue where people want to stay in the same situation. They want to stay comfortable because they know subconsciously they can live there, that they're surviving there, so they can keep surviving there, but they don't know about the unknown. They don't know about branching off. So I like what you said. People stay in the storm.
Mm-hmm. But that's the illusion. Victim mentality and comfort. It's the illusion, because when and this is the part that I help with people. I don't help victims. They have to actually be past that part. They have to be able to take responsibility.
Very wise.
So after that, all their shit surfaces, mm-hmm. and they have to actually look at themselves. And this is the hardest part of entrepreneurship, is because everything in the business is a reflection of what's going on inside.
Yeah.
So, but when you gain the correct tools to help yourself look at it in a way and transcend it really quickly, it actually becomes, ouch, that hurt, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like I'm looking at it and I'm getting to the deep core root of it, whether it's money, whether it's, marketing even is a reflection of the beliefs going on inside. If I believe that a click funnel is the way that's going to get me clients, then that's the direction I'm going to get. If I think networking is it, then that's where I'm going to go to. So networking, every person I network, that's my way of doing it. Every person is a reflection of who I am. What's going on inside of me? Am I nervous to even talk to a, high net worth individual? How am I seeing them? Do I feel like I can help them? Am I putting them on a pedestal when we should all be even and on the same platform and equal as one another? Because we're just people at the end of the day.
Yes.
So when you get past the victimhood, it's time to work on self. Then I think there was one other thing you said. Going in the storm, choosing the storm, I think, was it?
Oh, it's because it's what they know, right? And so subconsciously they know they can survive in that position, so they keep themselves in the less desirable position.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the illusion of comfort, it's quite an illusion, because in the comfort, it's actually the most uncomfortable place you can put yourself.
Yes.
Because at the end of your life, and you look back at yourself and say, I lived a comfortable life, you will likely, I want to say I guarantee it, but I'm not going to say that. You will likely have more regrets than if you went out there and made yourself,
I'll guarantee it,
intentionally uncomfortable and actually failed 1,000 and million times.
Yeah.
Than if you just, that is way more fulfilling and comfortable to be. And that's why they say, be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yes.
Now, there's a difference, though, of being so uncomfortable that you're in panic. In the panic zone, we can't actually grow. It's the neurology and the nervous system can't handle it. So the closer you can get to the edge of that panic zone
without crossing into it
is the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot.
I feel very reassured and all the crazy crap that I've done in the last 2 months now.
Yes. And then once you get to the edge, you can look at it and gain the tools to actually transcend all the fear and the rejection and the hurt and what that limit and that barrier is. And once you know how to break through that, the panic zone actually goes further out and further out and further out until it finally disappears one day. And that is what unstoppable is. When you gain those tools to be able to go beyond what you ever thought you could because of what's going on in here.
Definitely. Man, I really like the kind of the mindset and perception that we're sharing. A lot of these podcasts, we end up talking more about the business aspect of it, but I'm really glad that we've gone down this rabbit hole. I don't want to say rabbit hole, but rabbit hole, just because it's, this is really valuable, I think, for people to understand the frame of reference, on what it actually takes to be successful. And it's not to say that every entrepreneur has to go through these horrible, dark times to find their calling and find success.
Right.
But it is to say that if you are in those hardships, if you are stuck in that storm, there is a way for you to weaponize that almost, to grow, to utilize it, to strengthen yourself, right? I've often said, and it's kind of cliche, but how are diamonds made? It's pressure, but it's also time.
Yeah.
And if you can get, like you said, close to that edge, you start to learn how to cope and how to deal with those things in a real-time situation, and then you can keep moving. Like you said, you become unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because you just know how to handle it then. I've, in my own life, just to share the story a little bit, the last few months have been crazy. So I run a collection of e-commerce businesses online, and those have employees, and they largely are able to run without me being in the office. But we're running our podcast, the Base Business Podcast with Parker McCumber. Hey, you're a guest. we bought this podcasting studio that we're in right now. And so we're getting that situation set up and, how do we revamp this business model and really make it something awesome. We're still coaching. I've been running for city council. Plug my hat real quick. Parker McCumber for Vineyard City Council.
Nice.
Elections tomorrow. That'll finally be done. But then I said to myself, if I really want to grow, one of my mentors, Russell Brunson, had told me, he's like, if you want to master any one aspect of business, master it in the format of doing an event. And I said, my biggest struggle in coaching for me personally has been lead gen. So master it in the sense of doing an event. Okay. The hardest way lead generation in the world is putting butts in seats. How do you get people to actually show up to something? So I said, okay, great. This will be an excellent struggle for me. Yeah. So I decided to do an event, but I made the mistake. Maybe it's not a mistake. I believe very much in, I'm an experience junkie. I want to try everything once. Mm-hmm. So I did all the event planning myself on top of all that other crap that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have never been closer to the edge. I mean, the overwhelm on a daily basis was very real. Yeah. I would work every morning from like 7 to 8 a.m. I'd start between there, and I would go till midnight every single day. I was coaching football too, high school football. I'm a high school football coach. But it was like I just had to get really good at segmenting my time. Yeah. Right? So I would every night, I'm making my plan for the next day. I'm reviewing my Google Calendar. If it's not on the Google Calendar, it doesn't exist. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to spend 3 hours in the e-commerce business in the morning. I'm going to spend an hour at the podcast studio after that. I'm going to have lunch with my wife and kids. Okay, I'm moving into coaching after that. Then I'm moving into football coaching after that. And then in the evening, I'm doing my event planning. Well, actually, I was doing my campaigning. And then in the like later evening, like 8 p.m. to midnight, I'm like, okay, I'm doing the event planning. But I got really good.
That's really good.
Compartmentalizing what I'm doing every hour of the day. And the beauty of it for me, I am definitely like a stereotypical case of ADHD. But that drives me to want to learn everything and do everything. So having a different problem set every hour of the day makes me feel very fulfilled and very productive. And almost like if we draw it back to the beginning here, I take pleasure in knowing that I am being useful and that I am being active and that I'm earning for the family, like all those things. Yeah. But I got really close to that edge and I learned, and I'm definitely more capable for it now than even just a couple months ago.
Yeah. Well, and we pick and choose certain things to really push for a purpose. And sometimes we don't even understand why we're doing it ourselves. And there could have been something inside yourself that needed more structure in your daily life. And for some reason, the event would do that without you knowing it. Yeah. And entrepreneurs will busy their life so much, just like what you said, so that they feel fulfilled and they feel needed, or it fulfills something. Yeah. But like now at 7 years, like I work very little on my business, like maybe 10 hours a week. And I play and do a lot of self-development, and I'm a manifester. So
big believer in manifestation.
Yes. So I've even called in my own dream partner, do the same process with my clients and everything. And so like I have to, in my line of work, I have to spend a lot of time actually letting go of what's holding me back from, well, not even me back, but clear my projections for my clients. Because when they sit into a call, I want to make sure my lens is completely clear for a call. So I have to do my own practices. So like, now having life slowed down, divorce did that a lot too. It made me slow down so much in my healing journey that I realized the beliefs of just being busy. One, we think that we need to be busy. We do not. It's the whole, okay, what's that 20% actual work that we need to do that will actually move the needle? Yeah. But people are doing 100% when they should be doing 20. That actually makes the difference. And it's an illusion of sorts when self-care goes out the door, family neglect, and personal, like that's why people burn out and they have depression, because depression is pressing down extreme sadness. And when it's coming up, it's actually wanting to be resolved. So if you're letting it sit in you and sit in your face, that's called depression, that we put a label around it. And we're not actually doing the work inside to let it go.
I like that you said that you brought up the self-help, the self-care, the family care, right?
Yes.
I'm not always a great example of this, but I'm trying to be better. For like the last 2 months, I literally was booking 1 hour a day on my calendar of time to be home with the wife and kids.
Nice.
Well, necessary, because if I wasn't, I would be doing all these other crazy things. And I was doing those other crazy things, but it was like either I'm home for that hour for lunch, or I'm coming home from 3 to 4 p.m. before I go to coach football practice, like something like that would force that. That's one, I mean, the bare minimum for maintaining the family relationship. But as my schedule now is lightened, like coaching football's over, the event planning's over, my campaign ends tomorrow, it's election day tomorrow. So it's like I have 30 hours a week now again, or more, that I didn't previously have, that now I'm back home with the wife and kids. So I liked what you mentioned about when you're not busy, when you reduce the busyness, you have more time, capability, bandwidth to invest in yourself, to invest in your relationships. And to be completely honest, the most important thing from my perspective, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, is you have to invest in yourself early and often. And that's your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, right? If you don't have those domains in order, something like you said, your business manifests, or your business presents what you and your health, how you run it. You know, sorry, they're all connected is what I'm getting at. So if you have something in your life that's out of whack, your business is going to be out of whack.
It is. And it's like a machine. If you think of a machine, you're building a machine. And if there's one thing off, how's the machine going to run?
Yeah.
Right. And we want it well-oiled and well-running. And how we treat ourselves is a gigantic piece of that. And I want to pull in one thing too, because I help a lot of high to ultra high net worth individuals that are uber successful and their lives are so busy. They're needing balance. They're needing a lot of things. They don't even have time for love. So I'm helping them let go of their barriers to finding love and all that.
Oh my gosh, I'm having a mental blow up right now. You're like, they don't even have time for love. And I'm like, I'm sorry, wife. That's been my life for the last 2 months.
Yeah. And so I want to bring up your father-in-law and how he said, I'm worried about you. And this, I hope this is okay, because it's going to be personal.
Okay.
I'm worried about how are you going to take care of my daughter? He's not talking about money. And you want to sit and tell him how your business is good and this and that, right? I think from a busy entrepreneur perspective, what he's actually seeing, and I want to say this is why it's so also beneficial for this other perspective to do consider your family members and what they say, is because they're trying to get you to look at something else that you're not looking at, is how are you going to actually spend the time? Quality time with the wife and children, because right now it's not about money for you.
Yeah.
It's about the quality time and the memories you're creating and keeping a good relationship with your wife and making sure you have real intimacy with her, right? And so from that perspective, those are actually the really good things we need to be listening from our relatives or our parents. They are handy. They are. It's just which things are we talking to them about and what things, right? What types of advice are we looking for that we need to be more specific and more intentional about? because I tell you, my mother has given me such profound advice, and I value it so highly. And some things I just kind of trash and say that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But there are so many things that they can see that we can't, because we're in it.
Well, and you're right. It is important to recognize that the advice they're giving you is probably predicated on love.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not that they want to see you fail. They're not trying to give you bad advice. So
they want you to succeed.
I will maybe reel back in my previous statement a little bit.
It's a paradox, right?
Correct. If they can't see, the trajectory or the dream or the vision that you have, then, you don't need to listen to the naysayer when it comes to you building your business, building your enterprise. But I also, to add the nuance, they are telling you what they think, because they love you, because they care about you, because they want to see you happy.
Yeah. And I think it's important to dive into the thing that you're like, no, it's not that. Mm-hmm. Like dive in a little deeper into yourself of where that's coming from. They're seeing something we're not seeing. So if I could
and it could also be a previous experience too.
Totally.
Right? Like for example, I mentioned previously, my father tried in entrepreneurship and failed. Mm-hmm. So he is a little bit more afraid of any entrepreneurial endeavor. So as he's seen me doing it for the last 9 years, he is always skeptical because he didn't make it 9 years in entrepreneurship.
Right. So there's that too. And that also brings a wealth of knowledge into your lap, because you've seen what he's done and how he's felt, which is actually really amazing, because you didn't have to do that kind of failure.
Yes.
Now you get to do a new kind of failure that leads to success. And failing, there is really no such thing as failure anyway. Yeah. It is only feedback.
I think it was
redirection.
Dan Martell. I saw a Dan Martell clip this morning, actually. Loved it. Got to figure out how to integrate this into my life. He said, winners lose more than losers lose.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I've failed. I can say, if I'm really honest with myself, because I had to get there. If I was really honest, I failed my marriage. I failed my kids. I failed my business. I failed my clients in some sort of shape and form. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing is, when you've been so far down, all you have is room to rise.
Yes. Well, and we mentioned earlier, 100 no's and a yes is a yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's man.
So you new little entrepreneurs, not little. It's pretty gigantic. The biggest thing I think of takeaway too is really dive into yourself and who you are. Mm-hmm. And who is it that you want to transform because of being an entrepreneur and starting a business and going after it? Who is it? Because it's not about the business. It's about you. Because when you die, if there is an afterlife, who knows what people believe. Whatever you believe is perfect for you. But if this is our only chance in this life, who is the person you want to make sure you're showing up every single day as?
Who are you serving?
Yeah. And it starts with ourselves in order to actually expand it to others. Mm-hmm. And it's an evolution, really. And there's shitty shit that happens all the time. But just like anything, it's how we look at it. We can take manure and put it in a garden and all of a sudden make a garden flourish. Mm-hmm. So is the shit actually shit?
There's value.
Or is it growth?
Yeah, there's a growth. You mentioned previously, not to backtrack too much, but I wanted to share it with the audience, manifestation.
Yes.
Every day I say affirmations.
Love it.
I'll share it with you guys. One, I am the best leadership and team development coach in the world. Every entrepreneur and business owner wants to work with me. I get referrals from every client. I make $10,000 a day. My wife can't keep her hands off me. I say those every morning, right? I wake up, I stare in the mirror, I look at myself, I say those things. Now, there's different beliefs around manifestation. I'd love to hear yours, but my underlying thought here is that the more you say those things, the more you're building mental connections. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, you are creating a belief in your subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. And if you have that subconscious belief, you start subconsciously taking the actions, or you become more predisposed to taking the actions or being in the positions that you need to be in for those things to be a reality and to be true.
Right.
Is that kind of the same line of thought that you have? Because I tell all of my clients, set what you want to see, write the affirmations, say the affirmations.
And there's a place for everything. So I'm an expert with the unconscious mind.
Okay.
I'm a master trainer of NLP, timeline therapy, hypnosis. I use a couple other modalities. Here's the thing about affirmations. They're amazing, but they're wishful thinking. What's better? There's good, better, and best. Okay. So actually, if you started affirmations, good job. I applaud you because you're doing something and it will stick. Mm-hmm. Eventually it will stick. The better way is to actually install them. Our minds are a supercomputer. So what if you could actually install those
beliefs? You would love Jessica Cunningham.
Install those beliefs at the core of who we are, that they're actually there. It's like, why didn't you tell me you put your shoes on today?
Why would I tell you I put my shoes on today?
Because you already do it, right? It's already...
Everybody wears shoes.
All of you.
Unless you're a hippie, like my wife.
So we don't need to announce something that just is. Mm-hmm. So if I know that I'm a badass woman, I don't need to go tell anybody.
Yeah, why are you telling everybody? Everybody knows.
It exudes through, like, it pours out.
There's a confidence.
Yes, you can tell. When I'm in a relationship, do I have to announce I'm in the best relationship of my life? No, people can actually tell.
You wouldn't be in that relationship if it wasn't the best relationship in your life.
Exactly. Unless you're settling. So
it's a different problem.
That is a different problem for another day.
Don't settle. Looking at you, don't settle.
So manifestation works like this. There's 4 planes or 4 bodies: spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the spiritual plane, which is connected to our higher self. Our higher self is the future version of ourself that has done it all, has all the answers, that's connected to source, whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever that is, whatever higher source that is for you. So that's where we create. That's where we co-create with our higher self and source of what it is we want to create in this earth. Then in the mental plane, if you have frustrations, any minor negative mental states, those self-talk things that are not cleaned up. So all those things you want to affirm to you, if they're not actually ingrained into the mental plane, you're bringing down what you want through the mental plane now, and you've got garbage in the mental plane. You're bringing all the affirmations of good things, but also those bad things going on, bringing it down. Then there's the emotional plane, which is all the negative emotions that are anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. Mm-hmm. All those are manifesting if you haven't cleared the physical plane and the mental down into the physical. Because we actually pull from above down to the ground and ground it to the physical plane.
Okay.
So we are actually manifesting every moment of the day. Every single moment. So if there's garbage manifesting, you need to check on what's going on inside. Is this the mental plane? Is this the emotional plane? Mm-hmm. What is coming down into the physical plane? Once you actually clear it and clear the garbage, all of a sudden you're actually manifesting the very creation of which you created with your higher self and source.
Can I ask, if you don't mind sharing maybe the how a little bit here?
Okay.
You mentioned, manifesting's good. Got to clear out the garbage. How does somebody clear out the garbage? Is that a process of meditation? Is that like, I'm going to sit and reflect?
Ways.
Okay.
There's an infinite of ways. I mean, I do fire walking and glass walking over broken glass.
I remember you telling me that. And that was, okay. So we're at the event last week and I'm like, she's telling me he's in fire walking. I'm like, oh, she's a badass. You don't have to tell people. They just learn it. They know. They can pick up on the vibe.
Yeah. So there's real tools and processes. There's so many. There's breath work. So many. Hundreds and thousands of different modalities. Mm-hmm. I've been in the self-development space for a decade now. And when it really comes down to it, NLP, timeline therapy are the two modalities that have trumped everything else, even above ayahuasca. It's just changing the mind like NLP. Like everything is NLP and timeline therapy, quite literally. Mm-hmm. The difference is there's an evidence procedure where you can test to make sure that it's actually released in the mental. Mental plane is NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. The physical or the emotional plane is timeline therapy, getting to the negative emotions. And there's a way to test to know that you've released it all.
Okay.
Yeah. So different tools, and people will search everywhere for it. I kind of like to tell people I'm at the point in my career that I'm like the ancient one in Doctor Strange. Have you seen the new one on Disney Plus? Mm-hmm. And there's this really successful surgeon, really rich, has the supercar, has it all. Even terrible relationship, doesn't have a good love relationship, romantic one. And he hurts his hands, which his hands are the mask. Yes, they're the livelihood, but they're the mask of what's actually going on. It's taken all the shit down into the physical plane and created such a problem for himself. He actually had to finally look inside himself and see what's really going on inside. Mm-hmm. And because when he goes to the ancient one, she says, I help align the mind, body, and spirit. Right? So when things are out of whack, it's because you're out of alignment with who you truly are. You're out of alignment with your higher self and source as well.
I love that.
Yeah. So yes, praying, meditation helps too. Yet we can't actually solve a problem from old strategies that got us to that problem. We have to actually create new rewirings, new ways of thinking, new ways to rewire our brain to help us transcend and evolve in a whole new way. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So gaining tools, like my favorite ones are NLP and timeline therapy. And I've even transcended and evolved those tools beyond what they originally were for myself as well. But I like to start people at the beginning, at the origin, and then build from there. Yeah, there's tons of different tools. And the cool thing is that the unconscious mind has all the resources it needs to achieve its specific and desired outcome. So it actually doesn't need anything.
That's super cool to think about.
Yeah, like nobody actually needs me. They have everything inside themselves.
Well, I like to say this, all of us, right, are, blessed with different gifts and strengths.
Yeah.
And because our minds are so powerful, we all have the innate ability to grow, learn, take action, succeed.
Yes.
Does anybody need any coach?
No.
No. But it's how you shortcut the process of your learning, your discovery, right? It's having somebody who can help you expedite the outcome.
Yes. They say there's no shortcuts in life. There actually is.
The shortcut is you learn from somebody else in a faster way than you going through the 10, 15, 20 years to learn the same process and program, right?
Yeah, because it's like going to college, right? You go to college and learn from someone else. Why aren't we treating entrepreneurship like college in its own way, where, you know what, people will dump $100,000 into college. Why aren't they okay with that in entrepreneurship?
Yeah.
Into themselves.
Well, I told you earlier, I'm a big believer in we have to invest in ourselves early and often.
Yeah.
Like you are your greatest asset. You are your greatest tool. You are your greatest skills. Like everything culminates in you.
Yeah.
Right. School of Hard Knocks, to some degree, started the business. I was doing it largely on my own, trying to learn, figure things out. I was learning leadership through the military. I did my undergrad at UVU down the road, and then I got a master's degree. I'm finishing my doctorate now, and I keep investing in that because I enjoy the process of learning, and I like the structure, like I said, I can segment my time and everything. But the reality is, if you're just investing in yourself, you take that money, you throw it into your dream, and you pursue and maybe, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, but sorry, we should go back to that in a minute. It's the Robert Kiyosaki thought. I wanted to unpack it. I totally forgot to unpack it. But you take those resources that you would be putting into some other area, invest them in yourself, and watch yourself grow.
Yeah.
In a faster method, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry. 20 million thoughts.
I know it's
this is a big, big episode. You mentioned way earlier now, Robert Kiyosaki's thought of don't pay to learn, get paid to learn.
Yes.
Seeking on the job training, essentially, you get a sales job to master sales.
Yes.
Brilliant. In the same line of thought.
Yes. Because it's a paradox.
You learn from experience,
yes.
right? Well, there's really...
Because I'm also going to say pay to learn on a certain level because...
Well, invest to learn.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how I'm thinking about it.
Don't look at it as I'm in debt either. Mm-hmm. Like I talk to entrepreneurs and they're like, I have so much debt. And I'm like, but you're cash flowing in your business. That's more like an investment.
Hashtag leverage.
Yes. And for the early entrepreneurs, like it's essential to invest in yourself. Mm-hmm. Yes, go get paid to learn. But also, if there's a coach in front of you that's like, you know what? I feel, whether it's I feel called, whether you feel like, oh my gosh, I resonate with them. I know they can help me get from point A to B.
Yeah.
Because there's how many bridges we need to cross in entrepreneurship. But if you can get from point A to B within 2 months versus 2 years, like it's well worth the money because guess what? That money you invested in, not went into debt and sure, put it on a 0% credit card or something if you don't have the money, but it's an investment or not. Maybe that's a bad financial advice. I don't know, whatever advice is good for you. But beginning to invest, your money is going to come back because in all the time that you spent wasting your money to get to 2 years, but you could pay it all up front to get there in 2 months, all of a sudden, you're making far more money than what it ever costed you.
So I think about it like this. I've got a client, he came to me, he was making, $150,000 a year or something like that. And we, show him, okay, dude, you're capped. You got to have a team. We have to develop your team now.
Yeah.
And it actually took a couple months to work through his limiting beliefs around developing and leading a team. But we get through that, and he's on my $10,000 a year plan. So, but he's paying monthly. So really this is we're $3,000-$4,000 into the process. Finally hires his team. Takes some of the workload, allows him to focus on growing the business. The team picks up the work, and now he doubles his annual take-home pay.
Yes.
And he just needed 6 months of a coach to do that. And so it's okay, was that $6,000 you invested? Keep in mind, I view it all as the investment, like we said a minute ago. It's not just paying, it's an investment in you.
Yeah.
But it's now elevated him, his mental status, his capacity as an entrepreneur to a point where he can make twice as much money.
Yep.
And it only took 6 months of working with somebody to figure that out.
Exactly.
Now, this whole thing isn't a sales pitch for coaching, but the coach is the way that you expedite the process.
Yeah.
And you are, in that sense, getting paid to learn.
Yeah.
You put a little bit of money into the front end, right? But then he is getting paid as he's learning this, because he's running the business still and the business is growing.
Yep.
And he's getting paid to learn how to manage the team, how to run the team, how to structure the work, how to divide the responsibility.
Yep. The clients and customers are actually paying for it.
The beauty of entrepreneurship is if once you become profitable, you are getting paid to learn into perpetuity at that point. Mm-hmm. And I think there's really only two ways that you develop a lot of confidence in what you do. The first is the experience. So you have to go out and do the thing.
Yeah.
The second is the knowledge, the actual, like maybe the education around it. And entrepreneurship provides you a path to achieve both of those paths, to become experts, to become uber confident in who you are, in what you do, in the service you provide, in the people you help, in such a way that you become that god or goddess, that unstoppable force.
Yes.
Boom. Okay. So we've gone a lot into mindset here, but I want to get, back to the core of the show, base business here. So you're in the coaching space.
Yeah.
Sensual coaching. I'm just going to say it because I wanted to say it. If you are going back in time and you're starting as a coach again, you mentioned, 2 years ago, this is why the Robert Kiyosaki thing was the bridge. Okay. Sorry. ADHD brain.
You're good.
You mentioned, you went back, you got a job for a little bit selling cars so that you could learn sales, so that you could be better at the business. What advice would you give to yourself early to maybe, some of our listeners are in e-commerce, some of them are in the coaching space, some of them are trying to get into info products and courses, some are physical product sales, but the business, even across domains, the strategy stays the same in a lot of regards. Yeah. So if you're looking back on your journey, how would you expedite your growth if you could do it all over again today?
Expedite my growth, my personal growth?
With the lessons you've learned in the last 7 years, how do you go back to yourself and say, hey, this is how you do it faster. This is how you do it better. This is how you shortcut.
I would probably tell her to ignore every single negative thing a person ever told me.
That's super good. That's a low-hanging fruit maybe, but super good. I'm not trying to say low-hanging to discredit it. I'm like, duh. It's so low, I'm going to walk into it. It's going to smack me in the face.
Well, I let so many people dictate how I felt about myself. And I feel like it made me someone who I was not.
Oh, yeah.
For so long. And divorce actually was the thing that crumbled all of that. If you look at my actually top Facebook post that I pinned, it says how NLP ruined my life. It ruined my life because it made me stop playing small. It made me stop listening to all the things other people told me about myself, or even what I thought they thought about me. It made me stop doubting myself. It gave me the tools to actually believe in myself. That at the end of my life, on my deathbed, I would have zero regrets.
Yeah.
It helped me really see my potential in who I am. And if you want to say, I've gotten a lot of things told to me, that I've compromised my family for my career, why is it that a man can build his career, and the moment a woman needs to actually, well, not even needs, but once she wants to build hers, it's all of a sudden shunned. I'm just here starting to create something for myself because I gave everything to my children and my husband. And so really looking and saying, I just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what? I deserve success, and I deserve to really live my life's purpose.
Yeah.
Because the previous purpose of raising my kids, they're grown. It's different now. It's my time now, and being proud of that. And while I do that, I still pay for my family I had a client retreat And then after, I was like, if I'm going to do any traveling in my business, I'm going to fly my family out.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then like take my daughters to trips. And then one of them was for me. Like in 1 year, I took 3 trips all in 4 months.
Wow.
And I got slammed for it. Of like, oh, you think you're amazing and you think you're the greatest for all these traveling and this and that, but your kids are suffering and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? You don't even know. You don't even get it.
Yeah.
And other people's stuff comes up in their face because you're actually going after your hopes and dreams. Mm-hmm. And it's their stuff. Let them have theirs. And really stand in who you are so confidently that you know you're actually creating something that's going to outlast their words, outlast anything. And there's going to be times when people jump on that boat and you got to let that boat go while you sell your own path. And take the people that support you with you. And I tell you what, I went from a hell of a lot of friends to nothing after divorce. Because when you divorce, you create this entire new identity and the energy shifts and that old energy can't exist anymore. But then when you really break it all down to find the true essence of who you are, there comes true essence of people that show up for you in the way you were meant to have show up for you all that time, but you weren't allowing it.
Yeah. It's an interesting thought. I like the concept you ended with about the you weren't allowing it, right? And I don't think a lot of people consciously recognize that they're... I didn't. Yeah, that you're in the position where you're not allowing that love, that support, that, positivity to kind of come in just because of where you're. I mean, it's like we were talking about earlier. You're in the storm. Yeah. Right. And you can't see outside of the storm, but you're surviving in the storm. So you just kind of subconsciously stay in it. Mm-hmm. And it prevents other people from the outside helping you, really.
It can, yeah. But sometimes we can also call that, speak to the moon outside of the ship and say, hey, how do I get out of the storm? Yeah. Right. Yeah. And let the moon take care of the waves because the moon actually affects the waves of the ocean, right? Mm-hmm. To help bring us out of the storm. And that's where, coaches or that next new marketing strategy comes from, or maybe that new love relationship is that missing piece, but that's where your fear lies. Yeah. Or, there's always something. I don't believe in the state of stuckness anymore.
Oh, definitely not. There's no such thing as stuck. Yeah.
So if you do find yourself saying, though, because it's real in the mind, but it's not. It's the illusion of it. If you do say, I'm stuck, reach out. That's the true sign. It's time to reach out and find a different tool or a different strategy or different something to help bring you out of the storm and get cruising again.
Yeah, my default is that if I feel like I'm stuck, I want to find somebody who has gone through it before, and I'm going to go learn from them.
Exactly.
Okay. You mentioned previously you help, a lot of high net worth individuals with your coaching. How do you attract clients like that? If you don't mind, you don't have to get too specific, but a lot of our audience struggles with lead generation specifically. And so, for example, I've shared with them podcasting. I've shared with them, how I do cold messaging. We talk about building trust. We've talked about lead magnets. How does Camilla do it?
Well, now versus 5 years ago is entirely different. Okay. So do you want me to speak?
If you were giving advice to somebody who's just starting.
In the me now mindset of now.
In the big woman energy now mindset.
I would say relationships.
Very good.
Because I did the ClickFunnels thing. I did, and I don't mean to undermine it. It has its purpose, and it helped me in the way it helped me back then. I'm in a very more personal touch space right now. But relationships are most important, because also, how did you find the ClickFunnels guy that's going to help you? It's likely through something, or maybe you found him online. Okay. But maybe the moment before that, there was some kind of relationship that helped you see ClickFunnels in a helpful, useful way.
Yeah.
Right? So relationships, we're never alone. The moment we think we're doing this alone is the biggest mistake you can think of. And the faster you can identify that, the better. So relationship with yourself, even more than anyone else, relationship with self is even more important, because when we're sitting here and we're brewing in our own pity, or we're feeling sorry for ourselves. Now, there's a purpose for that, and it's a good for a certain amount of time. I don't believe in anything being bad. I believe everything bad is good. Until it fulfills its purpose, then we just don't even do the bad anymore. We do the good. And so relationships, as far as connections and networking and surrounding yourself around people that can continue to drive your compass to unknown territory. Entrepreneurship is very unknown. It's like the Dungeons and Dragons game where you put the tile down and then you fight all the monsters on it, and now you're going to go to the next edge and reveal a new tile.
Okay.
And you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Right? And it's one of the most fun games you could play. So I would even ask, what kind of game are you playing? So it's so unknown territory. What kind of other hero do you want next to you playing? And some of the heroes, their purpose ends and you need a new type of hero.
Yeah.
And those relationships that you have and connections that you build along the way are really, really important to continue to have forever. Because you never know, at year 10, you may be reaching out to the person that helped you at year 2.
Very true. I really like the concept of the relationship. I say it often. I'm a big believer that trust is the de facto currency of the world. And if you have high trust relationships, you're capable of so much more, because you have people that you can help, or that they can help you and that you can learn from. And one of the best ways, I think, to build that is just by authentically connecting with people.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's events, and sure, it's, talking to them, but I mean, it's the messages, it's the checking in. It is. It's being aware and present when you're having a conversation, when you're having the relationship with somebody, and focusing on its development. And I like what you ended there with. It's you might be reaching out to somebody on year 10 that helped you in year 2, and they might have the solution for you now. So you want to make sure that you're having those good, sustainable relationships. It's something that I did really poorly early on, admittedly.
Me too.
I was so focused on my work and my growth that I burned a lot of relationships, and it wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying to hurt those people, but I didn't prioritize them. I didn't value the relationship at the time. Yeah. And, in hindsight, that's come back and hurt me a few times. So I definitely recommend, one, build trust, build relationships. Yeah. And
take off the mask.
Yeah. Be authentic.
Yeah.
Be real about it.
And how do you build authenticity? Because the moment you say I'm authentic, you're actually not. It's like someone saying I'm humble. You're not actually humble to say that you're humble.
I'm the most humble person that you've ever met.
Yeah. I like to tell people, be humble and confident at the same time. They're hand in hand, because when if you're only confident, then you're just a bozo. and it's all about you. But when you mix together humility and confidence together, you get a good mix of a sweet spot in between. And I feel like I forgot where I was going with this.
This is actually something I've been working on really diligently for the last few years, because I'm just a hyper confident individual anyways. I know that anything that I do, I'm going to do to the best of my ability.
Me too.
And even if I suck at it up front, it doesn't matter, because I'm learning how to do it better. I'm going to be better. So like, you see me speak on stage. I guarantee that's the worst you'll ever see me do on stage, because every time you see me now, I'm going to be better than I was then.
Right.
So I have confidence because of that mindset.
Yes.
But because of that confidence, I often have rubbed people the wrong way. I mean, especially the last few years, I've risen in the ranks of military leadership as an officer, and there's the expectation that, we're maybe a little bit more political when we engage with people, and that we play that game. I'd never played the game. I've always just been who I am, and I've been confident, I've been loud, and I've recognizing that I am more effective when I can mix humility into who I am, into how I'm presented. And a lot of that stemmed from, post children. Once I started having kids, I started to realize how much I actually don't know about the world and how much there's still more to learn. And then I was pairing that journey into fatherhood with the journey of entrepreneurship. And I started just becoming, like, every day served me a little bit more humble pie.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, that combination that you shared is really powerful, I think, because it puts you in a position where, one, you're confident, and if you're confident, you inspire confidence in others.
Yeah.
But if you can remain humble, you can remain approachable, teachable, you can keep learning, you can keep helping others. I mean, like, that's the secret sauce on that. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so for the listeners, sorry, karate chopped the mic. I got excited. We took a break, quick pause to change the batteries on the cameras. We stepped outside. I'm explaining, I've got a lot of lower back pain today. I'm a little bit anxious, perhaps, because tomorrow's election day. As I'm even saying that, I'm feeling the pain harsher. So maybe that's weird, more dissociation. As I recognize it and I say that, it goes away a little bit. Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
But so I'm out there, I'm trying to stretch, bend over, touch my toes, a little bit of gravity yoga, let my back decompress a little. And that's what we're talking about right now is I started to manifest some pain. I'm trying to not manifest pain. Here we are.
So remember, when we talk about the 4 planes, mental and emotional, you're bringing it down and it's physically manifesting in the body.
Okay.
So when you get specific around what you want to win, what you're going to win, you're going to win.
I'm going to win a
regardless
seat on the city council.
Okay.
Regardless.
Okay. And the specific seat you've been going for.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 seats open. Anybody gets one,
Okay.
There's nothing special about either one.
Okay. So then there's so the lower back represents support when you're unsupported in something. So you want to get really specific. It's like all these toothpicks are sitting here and you got to pick out the precise toothpick that represents what you're not supported in.
Okay.
That could be time.
Yeah, what a crazy thought to have.
Maybe you're not supporting yourself emotionally in the fact that it's not fear. Maybe there's some kind of, and delete this, okay, if it's not true. I'm just giving an example.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes, I'm listening, I'm absorbing.
What if being in that kind of public eye hurts something? Whether it's family, your health, whether it's a business, whether it's, I don't know, but.
So there's maybe something there.
Okay.
And not like.
Yeah, your flesh.
I'll get a little bit vulnerable here.
Yeah.
I have always done a very good job I don't know. I tried very hard to protect my reputation and my name. And I recognize that especially in the coaching business and the people that I help that way, like my name and my reputation is valuable. Yeah. Right. If there's mud on it or something like that, it's obviously that hurts me professionally. And so being in the public space, that is a stress that I have. Right. Because it opens me up to
so many other opportunities.
Attacks and mudslinging, and it opens me up to like, I'm associated with outcomes at a city level now, and you know, developments and things like that maybe I wouldn't as a private citizen be associated with. So I mean, that's definitely something that might be.
So being well supported, I would find the resources to be well supported when having those, like if you think of like a shield, what's going to be your shield to actually flee, like those arrows are coming at you.
Great legal team.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
So that's where I would head and getting a better legal team. But even more important, we forget what's going on inside. You need to actually clear all the mental and emotional stuff going on inside around it.
So I could have some meditation later today.
Yeah. And clear all of that stuff so that you actually even find the legal team that represents you so that all the planes are clear and into the physical realm of exactly what it is that you need support in. Instead, it's kind of like a windshield. I'm kind of
scatterbrained right now. Yeah, you know, we're looking at all the possibilities.
Yes. You've got a windshield of support and there's all this crap and poo on it right now. Yeah. And it's manifesting. So like you need to actually start cleaning it up. And the best way to do that is if your thing is meditating, right? This is an entirely different thing and strategy. You might need to find a brand new meditation.
Okay.
If meditation is your thing.
I'm just learning about it, to be honest. Okay. Mandy actually turned me on to the Triple Flame app. She did some guided meditation with me a couple times.
Okay.
And so I know that if I stop, calm down, I internalize, I can hear the signals from the universe and maybe seek some inspiration and guidance through it and the vibrations I feel. I don't know. But that's, so I'm new to that world. It's not something that I do often or that I'm very confident or comfortable with necessarily either. So.
Right. Yeah. So then when you resolve it, like I ask my clients, I help them with chronic pain they've dealt with for a decade or more. Within 20 minutes, get it from a 10 to a 0.
Okay, so neuro-linguistic programming can be used for this too, right? Because you can, like you mentioned previously, your brain's a supercomputer.
Yeah.
You can code into it.
Yes, exactly. So basically.
So what's the secret? Like I'm boop, boop, beep, boop.
I mean, this
Parker, make the pain go away.
Yeah, this isn't chronic pain right now. Chronic pain is over 6 weeks. So
this has been ongoing for the last 2 or 3 years.
Oh, so it is chronic pain.
Yes, but it's not constant.
Doesn't have to be.
Okay.
So sometimes you're associating in your body and the pain's
cortisone injections in my lower back.
Oh, dang.
I do physical therapy. I do chiropractor, massage. Like I try to do everything that I can to make this go away, if that makes sense. And it's a weird, here's the story. I had hurt my lower back in military training years ago. And I started having some nerve pain as a result of that. I stopped exercising. I used to do like powerlifting, and I was very focused on just being stronger and bigger and faster. And that totally derailed me. But I kept eating like I was. So I gained a bunch of weight. I was up to like 240 pounds. I was bedridden and just pathetic. And I wasn't happy with who I was. But I got a call, like a job offer to be a commander in the Army. And so that's like reserved for the best officers, right? So I was like, well, shit, I'm not where I need to be to do this job. And this is my dream job. And so like, how do I prepare myself? And so I said, I got to do everything I can to get my lower back right again. So went really hard on physical therapy. I was getting the injections in my lower back. I started taking chiropractic very seriously. I started doing massage, biweekly to like, help increase the circulation and the body's ability to repair. And, I had some follow-up imaging done in my lower back, and the extent of the bulging disc isn't actually bad. Like the doctors aren't concerned about it. They're like, no, you probably don't need surgery or anything like that. Just keep doing what you're doing. Like the movement's good for it. But then it's weird, because a lot of the time it won't bother me, but then I'll go through bouts of this where like I have really sharp nerve pain today. Yeah. And I can feel it radiating around my hip and down my leg and up my spine. Yeah. And so I'm like,
can I get a little Dr. Strange on you?
Please do.
Okay.
I love this stuff.
So I do too. Okay. So keeping the 4 planes in mind. First, you never mentioned mental and emotional figuring out processes. It was all physical. Mm-hmm. You're all thinking, oh, this is a physical pain. And this is the thing that people usually do.
And this is curious because I know that it's not a physical pain anymore. Sorry, that's what emotional. I was getting at. Yeah. When I have my re-imaging and everything like that. And like doctor's like, yeah, it's really like, you're not that bad. It's okay. And I'm like, no, the pain is really freaking bad. Yeah. I recognize that what it is the subconscious manifesting pain in a familiar way.
Yes. So that's why, like, you've done everything in the physical plane. You actually need to take care of the mental and emotional part of it. And that's all so unconscious. Yeah. And deeply rooted, which likely goes back. The root of it is back to when it first started, right before that. Okay. And then it's actually really easy is what emotions are you feeling? And diving into those emotions.
So definitely need the meditation session. We need to actually feel.
Yes. You're dissociating.
Because and this is an assumption without really diving in on myself, but it's, I'm very busy. So there's stress associated with time and time management. And I'm getting really good at those things and segmenting my time.
But you need more time for self-care.
Yeah, I need more time for self-care.
Yeah. And actually listening to your feelings.
There's a little bit of anxiety around some unknowns, right? We don't actually know what the city council is going to look like being on so that's a little bit new. And how does that actually impact my family? That's an unknown.
Yeah. But see, even before that, you're already getting ahead of yourself. So anxiety is actually fear of the future. It's focusing on what we don't want, actually. It's the failure of it. So when we actually go 15 minutes after the successful completion of something, and look back at ourselves and take the learnings, actually all the anxiety disappears.
Yeah, I can definitely see that trend in my life or that pattern.
Yeah. So with the lower back, you keep avoiding support. You keep avoiding talking about support. And how does the unsupportiveness feel?
Which is crazy because I'm like, I think about it and I can't, it's hard to identify where I don't feel support, if that makes sense. Because like here we are sitting in the studio, we've got Bart out there, I've got my wife, I feel generally supported by the people around me.
Right.
So
it's deeper.
Yeah, it's deeper.
It's not about the people outside yourself. It's about you.
Oh man, it's always been about me. Okay. Yeah.
Other people is actually dissociating from ourselves, coming back to you. And how do you yourself are unsupporting yourself?
This is like a Chris Angel mind freak moment for me right now. where I'm like, holy smokes, I'm trying to be so introspective.
Supposed to be like a
No, I love this. I love this. I definitely, chiropractic later, got to take my kid to his tumbling class. Then I'm getting in the sauna. I'm gonna do some sauna meditation later.
Good.
We're gonna sweat it out and sweat it out.
Good. Yeah. So, new entrepreneurs, this is the piece that's usually missing. They've got this puzzle that they're trying to put together.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you put puzzles together. I like to put the outlining together.
Sure.
And then I start building. And the outlining piece to me, in mine, is the foundation of our mind. Because everything is created in the mind before anything else is possible. Mm-hmm. So to give you a foundation and frame your entire entrepreneurial life around, and I'm not just talking self-development, this is beyond that. This is true mind of knowing who you are inside in every aspect, that every piece of the puzzle represents you. And what your entire puzzle looks like, because you're creating it. And to be able to have such a foundation for yourself and gain the tools to become unstoppable and manipulate the pieces in a way that's ever so changing and evolving even. Like this is a different type of puzzle, right? Like it's not just, here's a picture of this puzzle and the pieces. This is a picture of a puzzle that changes all the time. It's ever changing. And how do you make the pieces change all the time to fit in perfectly?
Yeah.
The mind is what creates it all. So yes, meditations are really good. Like I encourage every type of whatever way you're called to resolve issues and solve problems within the mind. Mm-hmm. Everything works. It's just how tight are you holding on to your problems?
Yeah.
How tight are you holding on to your fears? How tight are you holding on to not being supported in the actual way you need to support yourself? You're allowing other people to support you, but you're not supporting yourself in some sort of way. So creating that for yourself so that you can be unstoppable in the most healthiest, most ecological, win-win situation kind of way. There is no limit of what the potential of who you are and who you can become is.
I love everything that you're saying. I am a big believer in the concept of unlocking the mind is unlocking your potential. Yes. And, the more I mentioned earlier, Jessica Cunningham, she's the belief coding founder. We've talked about her previously, but it's a similar concept. She used actually very similar verbiage to you about the brain is a supercomputer, and you can actually reprogram a lot of this, and that unlocks your potential. And you mentioned, at the start of this, your superpower is seeing that potential in people even before they can see it themselves. So it's actually like you have the key. Just unlock it. I hope that I'm putting that in a packageable way there that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about, how would my life have been different if I wasn't able to overcome limiting beliefs, if I wasn't able to, because it's like we were talking about with families earlier, it's really hard for like my father-in-law or my dad to recognize how my success is possible because they never had that roadmap. They never saw that as a possibility for them.
Yeah.
And so they just don't have the vision to support it. And I'm trying to think, obviously I had to overcome a lot of some self-doubt and limiting beliefs because of my childhood and my background. But doing that put me in a position where I could succeed, and all of that is unlocking my brain is going so fast right now because I'm like blown away by your last 5 minutes. I'm just recognizing, I think, very much like the power that your mind and the mindset actually has in determining your outcomes.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier how your brain already has all the tools. Maybe you just need somebody to show you how to do them, but it's a supercomputer. It can do supercomputer type thought and output. And so like every human has this innate ability to some degree. You just have to unlock it and achieve it, or unlock it to use it to achieve.
Yes. And you even have your own capability.
Getting those thoughts out.
Yes. Of nobody has the key. That would be giving someone else your power.
Well, when I said key, I'll clarify just a little bit. Sorry, I dropped my lid. I'm thinking more of along the lines of, the neuro-linguistic programming as like the
key.
The coding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what unlocks that aspect of your mind.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to get at, is that there are tools out there that people have, like you as an expert coach in this realm. Right. I mean, the last 15 minutes of talking with me about this stuff, and I'm like, brains exploding because I don't have those keys. I mean, those aren't tools that I'm familiar with or an expert in how to use. Right.
Yeah.
But you have this tool that literally is melting my mind on the podcast right now. So, I mean, it's caused me now just to, in a brief moment, I'm reassessing everything in my life as far as successes, failures, learning moments. No, but I mean, really powerful.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, totally overwhelming.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to be overwhelmed.
It is.
And actually, like, weird enough sensation, I do feel a little bit better, just like unlocked as we're thinking about this. And I'm like, okay, now I have a plan of action. I'm going to go home. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to try to be really introspective about this stuff. I'm not going to worry about the support from the outside world. I'm going to worry about my support from within.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about business.
All right. I love business.
We love business. We talked about network marketing or network building as your form of your recommended form of client acquisition.
Yeah. Now, definitely, it's my main form.
I think it's consistently the most valuable, right?
Yeah.
When I look back, my first career stuff, sparkling water, sorry. I was sending messages, cold DMs, finding people in a niche that was specific to my market or that was, relevant. And I would just send cold messages. The cold messages, the whole point of that is to try to build a little bit of trust and build a relationship and start a conversation, right?
Yeah.
And I just leverage that to the max. And that was good for lower ticket items and lower ticket sales. And to be honest, it's even good for lead generation for some coaching offers, courses, things like that. But as you move into
a little
please.
Honestly, it was a cold call back that led me to NLP, actually.
Cold messages change lives, people. So my, I guess, thought or recommendation was like, as we build the trust, though, it stops being about just shooting them cold messages. It starts being about how do we foster the relationship and help them succeed. And if we lead with value, we're developing trust as we go.
Yeah.
And then it becomes easier to seek help, pitch a higher ticket offer, things like that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to rehash the lead gen because we took a break. I had to get back in the train of thought. We went down the introspective scope of why my back hurts because I don't feel support inside myself.
Dr. Strangey.
Okay, so we talked about the lead gen aspect. So transitioning from lead gen to client support, and you don't have to be super specific if you don't want to be, but what does coaching with you look like?
Well, so my favorite client that I absolutely, it just does it for me. Like it just turns me on in every way, is someone that's been divorced for 3 years or more, and they just haven't found the love that they imagine. And they're uber successful in business, but not in love. And it's just like, why? They're like, why?
Sure.
How is it possible to be this
If you're successful in one domain, you expect it to carry over into others.
Yeah. And usually the success in business is the mask they wear, protecting them from all the walls they've built to not get hurt again. Because honestly, breakups are some of the most painful things for one to go through.
Yeah.
Hence divorce, even. Divorce is one of the most painful things. So when someone comes to me and they tell me their problem, and say they hire me, which at this level, I do very white glove because they can be in a different journey. They may be dating a little bit. They may not at all, but basically I give them a full entire 10-hour breakthrough. We usually split it up in three sections. So 2 to 3 hours per each. And it's like a full history of their love relationship. Where did they learn love? What is it that they don't want to do that they must? What are the deep, dark secrets that they can't tell anyone? But that thing that they've kept to themselves, and it starts unlocking their voice even.
Yeah.
And we go through a full history, and then at the end, we actually get to the root of all their negative emotions. I basically can see the coding of their entire problem. It's almost like the Matrix.
Oh, man.
I can see the entire code of what created this. Some come in a form of a mask. Some come in a form of walls. And we use metaphors to explain our problem. And it could be in a form of they've hit a ceiling or something. It just depends. So then the last part is actually letting go, getting to the root of all of it, where it all came from. It could even be something planted in the womb. Maybe like for me, my father was extremely abusive. In fact, my mom was actually, now I wouldn't know this personally. She's told me a story. She was ironing one day, fully pregnant, and she ironed it wrong, and he came after her with a knife. Like, her fear of that can actually affect a baby in the womb. Then there could be generational things. You know, your grandmother had a certain type of relationship strategy that she used, and then she taught her daughter this strategy of how to love, and then your mother taught you, right? And that could be in all sorts of forms. You don't even have to be abused. You could be in a totally loving home, but you were told no for something, right? And that's what love was. So it could come in forms of genealogical stuff. I don't even know until we actually dive in, and there's a way to find out where the root of all the negative emotions were. Once I do that, the majority of the problem completely disappears, is gone.
Just by identifying it?
No, I actually have a way to release it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I check on every single limiting belief, and we get rid of all of them in one technique. And then like, this is really advanced. So then I actually look at, is there any conflicts? Does part of you want to find love, but part of you doesn't? Maybe part of you doesn't because
don't feel deserving, or
there's all this self-talk going on, right? And it likely represents someone that taught you love. And then this new perspective of what you think love is. And they bump up against each other. So they can't actually like
reconcile.
Yeah. And we function better as a whole, not parts. So resolving all the parts going on. And then once all the work is done in the breakthrough, then they feel so free, like something huge lifted off of them. Mm-hmm. They feel so liberated that they're ready to actually go date. And then they can actually continue with me, and I'll help them through the dating process and what's happening with texts and the rejection, and because you're going to get it all still. And which is funny because we resolve the rejection in business if we're successful, but why not in love and dating, right?
Yeah.
And the strategy is entirely different. You're going to talk to an employee or someone in your business totally different than a love relationship. It's a different strategy.
Yeah.
So, even in a full love relationship breakthrough, money is even involved.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of successful people will date and they'll date somebody that's a gold digger. So how in dating do we cipher through all of that? And it's all the inner work helping us release things as you go. It's like, in Indiana Jones, he's at the edge and there's the treasure and he has to step out and there's nothing there. So I actually walk along with them on the path to helping them get there because I have stones that I can see. I've done it. Mm-hmm. And I help them make each step visible for themselves on the way there. And then once they find the person and they manifest it into the physical plane, I call it call in your dream partner and then manifest the magnetic love that you have within yourself. And once they're with the person, now there's a whole new level of fear, kind of like you winning your election. You're going from all the way to a community now. It's on a whole new level, right? Mm-hmm. So on a whole new level, when they're with their person, now they're in the honeymoon phase, which usually goes pretty good, but also they have different insecurities that are coming up because now they really care and they've invested in themselves and they want to fall in love. And there's even fears around falling in love. What if I break my heart? What if I go all in?
Yeah.
And it's too early, or I go all in and they're not there yet. And we're working on all of that inner stuff. And there's actually three stages in a love relationship. The first one is lust. So you have a lot of sex. It's the honeymoon phase. You have no arguments really, like you're getting to know each other. Yeah. Everything is roses. The next one, which a lot of shit comes up for that next level, is the romantic love sets in. Now you actually are beginning to fall in love with that person. And that has its own level of fears. Okay, I'm falling. Can I tell them? There's that moment of saying it, right? Yeah. And then if you're a man, saying it too early is scary. For a woman, allowing him to lead and say it first is scary. And a woman falls in love much faster, especially if they're sexually active with the person than the man. So the leading and following, it's like a dance. Mm-hmm. The man needs to lead. And the thing is, too, is women in business are already in their masculine. So how do they follow? This is a different strategy for women.
Yeah.
Men are already in their masculine. But also, how do they allow someone that's feminine to hold them and allow them to be vulnerable?
Yeah.
Where they're not in business and vulnerable in the bedroom or in life. How do they allow all their walls to come down? Mm-hmm. So coaching them around that and Then the third phase is attachment. Attachment is the moment where you see an actual future with the person. And
that forward-thinking transition.
Yes. And that you feel like it's so aligned, you can commit. But then there's a whole nother level of fears of commitment. Because the commitment there is different in business even.
Yeah.
Right? So just walking them through that and finding out what's really going inside, realigning the mind, body, and spirit, connecting them to their higher self and source, helping them really get in tune with themselves in a different way that it's different than business. And it's more about the love within oneself and really embodying who that is. And it's just so much deeper.
It's really beautiful. And actually, I'm sitting here, I'm like, gosh, man, I wish I met you a decade ago when I was really struggling and needed help with this kind of stuff. Because as I hear this, the conversation and the theme, like I married my high school sweetheart.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that for you.
We lasted less than a year. Didn't love that so much for me. But that left me really jaded. And it took, almost a decade for me to get over that.
Yeah.
And this was, like we mentioned previously, maybe the people you're surrounding yourself with, they elevate or detract in your mind space. But I was very down on myself.
Most people are. Some people I met a guy a few months ago that he went into complete suicidal mode of depression and just this dark. I mean, I even after divorce, went into a very deep, dark, suicidal place because I was like, I don't even get my kids full time.
Yeah.
And they were actually weaponized against me. So I didn't hardly ever see them. And I was like, what is even my purpose? Why am I even here?
Well, your whole identity, like you said, it changes,
identity
right?
Is shattered and you got to rebuild it. So breakups are, it's one of the top most difficult things to go through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in retrospect, it all worked out for me for the best.
Yes.
I would not have become the person that I am now. I wouldn't have had my successes in business. I wouldn't have had the successes that I have, in my current relationship with my spouse and my kids. I wouldn't have had any of that. My relationship with my family, like extended family, my parents and stuff, that wouldn't have been as good if I was still with that person,
Right.
So in all honesty, everything worked out for the better, but it took me 10 years almost to really get through that pain and to go for it.
And I really want to emphasize from my last breakup, it was one of the most valuable breakups I feel I've ever gone through.
No one has ever called a breakup valuable before, just so you know.
I know. And
good mindset.
See, NLP is the study of excellence. And so now when you transmute that into breakup and relationships, the study of an excellent breakup is all about transformation.
It's a wild phraseology there. The study of an excellent breakup.
It's about transformation and learnings. And what if your next path, whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you're in, how many years are you married?
We got married in 2018, so it's 7 years.
Okay, 7 years. At this phase, 7 years is a big deal. What if your next path of evolution in a relationship is to actually have the most beautiful, incredible relationship you've ever been in? And that time is now. And what is it going to take in order to have that? Mm-hmm. And it all starts within.
That's another mind-blowing thought, because I think about it like every step of my relationship with my wife right now has been the best relationship that I've ever had, from terms of like just the health of the relationship, but also my mental, emotional health. Like I had this really bad, sorry, derailing the conversation a little bit.
You're okay.
I had this really bad habit. I dated, like, I don't even know what the right term is, but they were all like rich daddy's princesses type girls.
Okay.
And that, that wasn't the world that I was from.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always trying to date up, which there was definitely some imposter syndrome there, as far as like socioeconomic status. And then also I had, dreams and aspirations, and they were like coast on daddy's money.
Yeah.
It was very different. And then, like I said, I married my high school sweetheart, and it was one of those, like, I was a private in the Army. I made like $1,700 a month. And she's like, has that spending habit of I always had daddy's money.
Yeah.
And so it was well, now I'm being compared to what daddy used to be able to provide.
And that is a thing.
And it was like, can't
keep up on that.
Can't keep up on that, especially like I'm a young guy and like he's, been successful.
And you grew up from poverty.
Correct. I'm like I'm just learning how to escape that world.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't have like a financial education or anything. It definitely doomed the relationship on both ends. But it was like I invested everything into that relationship. So when it crumbled, self-doubt, lack of self-esteem.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, depression. I never would have labeled myself as depressed, but it was definitely there.
Yeah.
I probably fell into like alcoholism. Like it was just.
It's devastating.
Yeah, devastating. And when I wanted to get over that relationship, so that relationship ended, I couldn't ever get over it. I kept like, I had the pattern of, I kept dating people from that same kind of thread. Oh my goodness. And then I would see those patterns repeat, and it was just not healthy. And it was like, the change was when I started dating my wife. She was an elementary school teacher. She was the first person I ever dated that already had her own career or profession or income.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't, coasting on daddy.
Yeah.
And so it was like she had her life and I had my life, and we were still doing our own lives, but we were just able to kind of do things together and support each other in that. And that was the first time I had ever been in a relationship where there was a mutual support. It wasn't just, what can you buy me? Daddy buys me. Like, just a totally different world. And so, sorry, to tie it back in, you mentioned, what if this next stage of your life is like the most healthy, the most beautiful relationship? I love that. I'm blown away by that because I'm like, for the last 7 years, every aspect of this relationship has been
where it
the
gets
best,
better and better.
the healthiest, and it keeps getting better and better and better.
And that's how it ought to be.
Woo, 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 woo. I love that. Okay. Gosh, we talked about lead generation. We talked about coaching. Now, obviously, if you're in the coaching space, the coaching programs are going to look different, obviously, for your clients, your niche, what you provide, the services and the outcomes that you are tailored to, right? But I think the white glove level, that concierge type level that you're providing, that's the gold standard, really. If you can do that, you're providing something that is insanely valuable to people. You're solving problems. They want to pay you. Okay, so we talked about the business a little bit too.
Yeah.
What's not working?
I would say low ticket.
Agreed.
Okay, let's say what low ticket.
I would even expand on low. I love that you're defining this now, because I'm going to say it's even more.
Yeah, people will say high ticket and they'll be like, "Oh, it's $3,000," and I'm like, to me now, I'm like, that's really low ticket. But the lower ticket you go, the less valuable you are presenting yourself.
Yes.
And you're positioning yourself in front of cheapos.
Yeah.
And people that
lessons I've learned the hard way.
Yeah. Don't actually want help. It's like a pretending help. It's like you're building a house here and you're going to YouTube. And then you'll pay, maybe $20 for a hammer. And then you'll go start hammering out a house to build. Right? Okay, now you got a $300 ticket, low ticket. Okay, what's going to buy me $300 to build a house? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to $1,500 ticket. Oh, now I'm really getting there.
Just got to sell 1,500 of those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go higher. $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. Now we're getting much higher.
More productive.
I would say 10,000 should be probably your lowest low ticket. And you also start thinking differently.
Yeah.
And giving the value people actually deserve. And there's this belief people think, well, I got to help all the littles, all the, we're not a donation, or what is it called? A 401
charity.
A charity. We're not a charity here. Go do a charity if that's what you want to do. But real value costs money. And not only that, but the person, it's a gift for them to receive that in exchange. Mm-hmm. It's a win for both, because you're actually giving a higher price that's much more valuable. Nobody's going to give it $100 value in a $10,000 thing.
Yeah.
And you can only get so far in $100 low ticket.
Yeah, there's no value associated with it from the consumer standpoint, and so it makes it hard. The sales are fewer and farther between, and then when you get them, you're still spending probably 35% on marketing the thing, and so it's like it's a race to the bottom, is what it really is. You don't want to differentiate yourself by lowering your prices and being the cheapest. That's a race to the bottom.
And AI can do all the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
At this point, right?
So I had been doing a $10,000 offer. That was kind of like my flagship, right, for coaching. And I was doing at one point 12 clients with that. It was cool. Yeah, cool coaching offer.
Yeah.
But I'm still obviously my big income source is e-commerce, right? And the podcasting studio does more in revenue than my coaching was at the time. So merging them was kind of a cool thing, but essentially doubled that business. So I had 12 coaches, and I'm talking with one of my mentors about it. And he's like, dude, you can't scale this. It's just not sustainable. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, how much time do you spend with a client each week? I'm like, well, I do a one-on-one call with everybody once a week, and I do a group call once a week. And so 12 clients is essentially a minimum of 13 hours of work. Mm-hmm. He's like, great. So you get 40 clients and that's it. You're done, right? You're at 41 hours a week.
Yeah.
That's fully booked. He's like, you just can't, you see where your issue is, right? You're limiting yourself there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is true. He's like, besides your $10,000 offer, he's like, you provide more touch point and more one-on-one than I charge for my $50,000 offer. So he's like, I know you've got a $50,000 offer.
Yeah.
He's like, why aren't you selling it for that much? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, well, I want to add more value then. I'm not going to just turn around and tell all my customers hey, it's actually $50,000 now. So I'm like, okay, what more can I provide? How do we provide more value? So you actually saw me pitch an offer, a couple weeks ago. That was the very first time that I pitched it. I took, my previous $10,000 offer, there's like 50 grand now. I'm like, let's just see if we can do it at the next level.
Yeah.
We got to close immediately. That was awesome. So we sold it at $20,000 there. I'm like, great. There's proof of concept that this can go higher. Yeah. We ended up closing a couple more after the event. And then we had like 7 hot leads like pop up, and we're like, yes, we're going to close 2 or 3 more of that. So I'm like, okay, great. Now it's listed, and we've got it online. It's a $50,000 offer, and we already closed one of those.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, all I needed to do was try to take it to the next level.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily, like I said, I didn't take the same exact offer and just raise the price on it. But I was like, how could I provide more value in such a way that it's like not a huge drain on me and my resource pool,
right?
But at the same time, we're providing maximum value to somebody that will help solve their problems, and we're going to be able to sell it for more.
Yes.
And, trying to reassess that problem and reframe that problem literally took me from a 10K offer to a 50K offer in a month.
Yeah. Boom. Here's the thing too, is like...
Actually, and when you put those things together, sorry, I said, we closed a few from the event and then one after. I'm like, that's 110 grand. And if you look at my 10K offer for the 12 people that I had previously, that was 120 grand. And like in a month, I did more business than I did previously.
That's the thing too, is like, throughout the years, year 7, I've tried so many offers. Every single offer I put out there sold. Every single one. It didn't matter what was in the package, what the price was. It's always, always sold. Mm-hmm. I'm even at 100 grand for a year. It's selling. So the biggest thing you said was try.
Yeah, just try. Because even if you fail, you just make a change and you try again.
Yeah, but so that's the thing is if you never actually go out there and do it, you're never gonna know. And that's where so many people get stuck, is they don't even actually go do it. And I hate the word try, because if you actually tried to touch this, you actually aren't. Like, I'm trying, but you don't actually do it. This would be doing, right? So to actually go do it and follow through all the way to the end, you will not know what you're gonna get until you do it. And I've even gotten, got $1 million offer out there for someone that wants that kind of transformation that many people know about. And I'm really close. And very few people will ever even try or do.
If you want a crazy transformation, buy a big offer like that. So I've bought a couple $1 million offers at this point.
Yeah.
And there was immediately a transformation in who I am. It wasn't just...
Yeah, I'm lighting up.
It wasn't just like, hey, I'm somebody that can coach or whatever. It was like, no, I am someone that invests in these things to invest in myself, and I have this worth. And if they can sell their $1 million offer, I can sell a $1 million offer.
Exactly. And there's so many ways to look at it. Like, even my journey. So it was, can I tell you the story of what brought me to it? I love telling the story. So about 2 years ago, I had just underwent this really advanced training that was full of magic and things that just blew my mind, completely transformative, and let all of my divorce stuff and past failures in my career completely go, left it in Maui. And I sat on the beach with my best friend and colleague she's a trainer like myself that's gone through a similar training. I stayed with her for like 3 days after to process what I just went through. And we sat on the beach of Maui, and she's telling me about this lady she's connected to that actually knows a woman that's $1 million matchmaker. And I'm not a matchmaker, but I'm actually far better than a matchmaker. And at that time, I told my friend, I was like, why aren't you doing this? Like, why aren't you doing this?
Yeah.
Well, 2 months later, I was like, why aren't I doing this? Like, why aren't I?
Yeah.
So it's been this beautiful journey of, what do I really deserve? What do I get to receive for myself? Mm-hmm. What kind of transformation do I get to gift someone at that level?
Yeah.
And when you play really high level, like you said, wire the money, and all of a sudden, instant transformation.
Yeah.
The problem may even be resolved so that every other moment that you're working with your coach is just extra.
Oh my goodness. Actually, if you're familiar with Richmond Din, he's a friend of mine from Russell Brunson's Inner Circle. And he essentially said that, he bought his first $100,000 offer from Myron Golden. And it was like in that instant, as the money is wired out, he realizes, if I'm someone that is buying a $100,000 offer, I'm someone that can also sell a $100,000 offer. And I mean, in the year since that experience for him, I think he was just on stage a day or two ago, and he was getting an award for selling $2 million offers in like the last couple months. And I'm like, dog, his entire life changed because he bought a high ticket offer.
Yeah.
It was really cool. So I see stuff like that, and I'm in those circles with those people, and I'm like, it's really inspirational, one, to see other people doing it. It gives me a little bit more proof of concept of like, dude, I can totally do this.
Yes.
And then being somebody that's consuming offers like that, I'm like, okay, we're in the game. Mm-hmm. Now we just got to play big.
Yeah.
Just don't stop. Okay, I apologize. We are coming up to my stop. I have a chiropractor appointment. We previously mentioned, got to get this back in line. But you've provided so much value to me, to the audience.
Thank you.
This has been a fantastic episode. Is there anything that I can do for you or your audience? Any value I can provide in return?
Let's see. Being married for 7 years.
Okay.
What is the one golden nugget you could share with someone that's been through a divorce, you've been through one, that they're looking to find their person, and what could help them have some kind of aha moment to be in the place 7 years later, super successful in the most healthiest relationship you've ever been? What could you tell that person?
Sure. So I mentioned this kind of previously. I don't know if I was as direct or explicit in saying it. It was the fact that my wife and I had our own lives. Yes. I wasn't dependent on her. She wasn't dependent on me. But instead of a codependency, I guess is what I'm getting at, it was a support-based relationship.
Yes.
It was that we helped each other be better versions of ourselves in our own lives.
Yeah.
So like I was still going to school. I was starting my own business. She was a school teacher. We spent the afternoons. We'd go to the gym together. She would support me with that fitness goal that I had. And like I was staying fit for the military. And she would also support me in like my business journey. I was trying to invest everything back into the company and grow. And so like she was essentially the sugar mama. She took me on dates. Right. So
I love that.
It was.
Why does it matter how it is?
Yeah. But it was the first relationship I had ever had. And I don't think it's like, there's no coincidence. This is why it was the most successful, was that it wasn't me giving everything. And it wasn't someone else, just trying to be wooed or, receive everything.
Yeah.
It was a relationship where both of us were supporting each other with our goals, with our dreams, with our lives. And we were each still building our own lives.
Yeah.
Just with, some support from somebody else.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.